Hey, what is going on, guys? It's DK. Back at you with another video here to bring down the 5-game NBA main slate on Thursday. Before I get into the video, if you guys are new to the channel, my name's DK. I make daily videos and live stream for NBA and NFL slates on Draftkings, and now I'm making videos for NBA Top Shot as well. If you're unable to watch these YouTube videos, they're also up on Apple Podcasts, so a link down below. It's called the DKDFS Show. If you're interested in signing up for premium content, I offer that on Patreon.com, an esports package which includes Call of Duty and CSGO, as well as an NBA package. And finally, I want to thank PrizePicks for sponsoring the show. If you guys are not familiar with PrizePicks, the idea is you're taking over/under on fantasy points. They have 8 players up for tomorrow. They'll have a lot more posted throughout the day. So yeah, again, example, like Lillard's projected for 49 fantasy points. You like the under, you like the over. You can mix and match sports. They have college basketball for you college basketball fans. They have golf, they have esports. Again, CSGO, Call of Duty, everything. So if you guys want to sign up, use the code DKDFS. DKDFS, all one word, link down below. You'll get a 100% match up to $100. You put $100 in, you get $200 to play with. And yeah, with that out of the way, let's jump into the video. So before I talk about players and their prices for this 5-game slate, look back at my lineup here from Wednesday. I'm not kidding, guys. I am not kidding with you. I feel physically ill. I literally feel sick to my stomach. If Oladipo just plays, I win. I literally win every tournament tonight that I play. You guys knew I was all over Kings Hawks stack. So, original build: De'Aaron Fox, Haliburton, and Holmes paired with Trae Young, Capella, and Bogdan Bogdanović. Oladipo gets scratched. Matchup against Charlotte. Fantastic. Figuring, all right, I got to get one or even both Wall and Wood in. Decide to go both. Blowout. Use Chetty Osman for value in the starting lineup. Plays less minutes than normal. They close with Broderick Thomas. Broderick Thomas shouldn't even be in the G League. The Nets value. I mean, what? I just don't even know what happened. Some people played Joe Harris. He played 5 minutes. Jeff Green played like 2 shifts. I'm literally speechless. And if you played Luka Doncic tonight, you got insanely unlucky because he was a really good play. He just completely busted and was the absolute chalk in the high dollar. The reason I didn't even want to play KAWHI, and I was talking to people in the Discord about this, it literally just fit because I wanted to get 2 of those Nets value guys in there. I went with Johnson and Brown. So KAWHI was his last piece in. I'm just literally physically ill, guys. If Oladipo just plays, I stick with the Hawks-Kings stack, and I literally win everything. I don't think I'm gonna be able to sleep tonight. I am literally that upset, that just frustrated about that slate. So that's all I got, guys. Positive is, again, we got another slate here, so let's talk about this one. Washington and New York at 226 over under. Knicks 2.5-point favorites. Clippers and Spurs at 221.5 over under. Clippers 6.5-point favorites. Warriors and Kings at 223 over under. Kings 2.5-point favorites. And 76ers, Lakers at 211.5 over under. The 76ers are 5-point favorites. Let's start off with Portland and Miami. On the Portland side, Enes Kanter. So, 23 minutes in a close game. 16 in a blowout. Just randomly 39 minutes. Miami is a bigger team with Bam Adebayo, and Nurkic is still out. So as long as Kanter stays out of foul trouble, I'm thinking we get at least 30 minutes from him, which makes him one of the better plays in the mid-range. Lillard at the top at 10K. In this matchup, more of a contrarian play. Would probably rather get to CJ than Lillard. I don't think either guard are priority, though, but CJ did play 38 minutes last game. Portland also ran an 8-man rotation. Robert Covington got in severe foul trouble last game. That's why he only played 25 minutes. Normally, he'll play mid-30s minutes. I actually think he's a safer play because he's a guy who can stuff the stat sheet. And again, the minutes should be there. Value-wise, Derrick Jones Jr., revenge game narrative. Played 31 minutes last game. I'm expecting around 30 minutes from him. Not a great point per minute guy, but viable because of minutes alone. And that is really it for Portland. So let's move on to Miami. Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo at the top. I think both look like good options because of the great matchup. Jimmy Butler should play 35 plus minutes, is the clear number one. So yeah, I think he's a good play. And then Bam Adebayo too. Cantor, not a good defender at all. So the top two guys from Miami both look good. And then keep an eye on Dragic news. If Dragic misses, it's none. It's Tyler Hero. Mentioned none. I was like, hey, if he plays well, they will extend him. Sure enough, played well. They gave him 35 minutes. So if there's no Dragic and none starts again, then yeah, I have some interest in him for value. But like if he's not playing well, they will kind of limit his minutes. So again, still a little bit of risk there. Tyler Hero continues to struggle shooting the ball, but he's the guy that probably plays around 30 minutes and would be a viable tournament play. And then value-wise, I think Trevor Ariza, there's really not much value on the slate at the moment. 19 and 23 minutes in back-to-back games, also a revenge game narrative. If he's going to play around 20 to 25 minutes at this price, at basic min price, then I do have some interest in Trevor Ariza. I'm moving on to Washington and New York. Westbrook, I think it's going to go overlooked in the slate. Again, last game was a blowout, so don't be too worried about the 29 minutes. He still had 40. He shot 3 of 14 and still had 40 fantasy points. So I still have interest in Westbrook here. If this game stays close, he's going to play close to 40 minutes. Beal, more of the contrarian play because, again, he is more scoring dependent when Westbrook is out there. Rui at 5'8" will play big minutes, but just more of a secondary play. The center rotation, I just really hate this team. It just, no idea, right? Alex Len, some games he'll play close to 30 minutes, some games he'll play 10 minutes. He's the high risk, high reward play because he's a guy that actually is a good point per minute guy if the minutes are there. But they can just go to Robin Lopez. Mo Wagner played a good amount last game, I think partially due to the blowout, but I don't know if I can stomach playing a Wizards center. Moving on to the Knicks. Julius Randle, I think, is one of the best plays this slate. Check back in, up 25 last game. I mean, Tom Thibodeau just doesn't care. He just plays the starters 40 minutes no matter what. I mean, the main guys. So with that being said, minutes are so secure for Randle. Great matchup. I think he's probably one of the safest plays of the board. Really do like Randle. Now, RJ Barrett is viable because of minutes alone. Also playing close to 40 minutes. Has a somewhat lower, I'd say, has a lower floor than Randle, but still interested in him because of minutes. Quickly, and Alpha Payne should kind of split the point guard duties, so not super interested in either. Also, Derrick Rose might be back. So yeah, the point guards, I'm probably not going to get to any of them. Alec Burks at 5'8", continues to play around 30 minutes. I think he's a viable play in the mid-range. And then Mitchell Robinson played 31 minutes off the bench. We'll see if maybe he starts this game. If he does start, then I have more confidence that he probably plays around 30 minutes. So yeah, keep an eye on the starting lineup. But Mitchell Robinson is definitely someone I'm eyeing, especially if he starts. And then, yeah, like Reggie Bullock at 4'9". I don't know if I can stomach playing him in this slate either. That's probably it for the Knicks. Let's move on to the Clippers and the Spurs. So Kawhi Leonard, again, had a big game tonight, even in a blowout, 32 minutes, 48 fantasy points. He should play 35 plus in a close game. I think he's a safe play with upside as long as the game stays close. Paul George, you're kind of buying low here. He had 32 fantasy points in a blowout. Again, a little bit more risky because of his up and down nature of his shooting game, but both the Clipper stars look pretty good. And then Ivica Zubac, good sign here is he played 32 minutes in a blowout, so probably plays 35-ish in a close game. The Spurs are a bigger team with Pirtle, so I think we get similar minutes from Zubac, which makes him actually a pretty good play in the mid-range. Marcus Morris probably plays around mid to high 20s minutes, a fair play. Not super interested in Reggie Jackson or Lou Williams. Nick Batum is another guy off the bench who's going to play mid to high 20s minutes. Not a great point per minute guy, but hey, he's at 3.7K. And then Madden Kennard played a little bit more because of the blowout, but Kennard actually wasn't going to play a ton in regular time. He was probably only going to get 10 to 12 minutes. He played 12 minutes. So even with a big game 2 games ago, it doesn't seem like he's carved out a big part, a big rotation, a big piece of this rotation. Moving on to the San Antonio Spurs. You guys just know I really dislike this team. DeRozan as a contrarian spend up, sure. Again, not the best matchup. DeJounte Murray, Derek White, Keldon Johnson are all fine for tournaments. No priorities there. Jakob Poeltl in a close game probably plays around 30 minutes. Lonnie Walker, Rudy Gay, both questionable. If they're both out, then yeah, Patty Mills and Vassell are okay value plays. Patty Mills probably plays around 30 minutes. Vassell is a guy that I would assume gets around 20-ish minutes, but there's just nothing I feel confident with in the Spurs. If the game does stay close, I would say most likely it's probably because of DeRozan and then maybe one of the mid-range guys like Murray, White, Keldon Johnson, but they all have been so up and down this season that's really hard to trust. Moving on to Philly. Ben Simmons, Tobias Harris. This is not the same Lakers defensive team, right? Without AD, without LeBron, possibly no Marc Gasol. So both the Philadelphia's main guys look pretty decent. I actually think would prefer Tobias Harris, who doing a better job rebounding the ball, 9, 11, 13 rebounds 3 of the last 4 games. He's just got more upside right now than Ben Simmons. I'm not saying Ben Simmons can't outscore him because he can, but we're just not seeing big games from Ben Simmons without Joel Embiid. Ben Simmons is a guy that can go out and get you a triple-double, but like I said, we haven't really seen it yet from him. Maybe this is the game we get the big triple-double, 50-plus fantasy game from Ben Simmons, but I think right now it might lean Tobias Harris. With the center rotation for Philly, it just put my hands in the air, right? It's just like Washington. Who knows? Dwight Howard. But besides that last game, 32, 30, and 28 minutes in 3 of the last 4 games. And then shoots 0 of 6, plays 14 minutes. So it seems like they're going to go with a hot hand, right? Tony Bradley was a guy averaging around 20 minutes. The last game, playing well, 33 minutes. So they are going to go with the hot hand here. It's a revenge game here for Dwight. Tony Bradley's cheaper. I think Bradley is probably a little bit safer just because he's $1,200 cheaper. But your guess is as good as mine. If you told me Tony Bradley played 15 minutes tomorrow, I would not be surprised at all. If you told me Tony Bradley played 35 minutes tomorrow, I would not be surprised. Kind of the same thing with Dwight, right? So it's a guessing game. They're going to go with a hot hand, which makes them both good tournament plays. I don't know if I can trust either in cash. Now keep an eye on Seth Curry and Danny Green. If they're both out, I think Shake Milton's a guy who plays mid to high 20s minutes and would be a pretty good play there in the mid-range. And then we have the kind of this gross value with Korkmaz, Thibault. These guys actually would be in play. Korkmaz probably plays over 30 minutes. We know he's always relying on the scoring. Thibault more out there for his defense, but again, if he starts, would have some interest in him at that price. So, and then Maxey at the flat min price, I would assume if both those guards are out, probably plays at least 15 minutes on the bench. He's actually a decent point for a guy. He just really hasn't carved out a big role in this rotation. All right. And if Seth Curry and Danny Green are both in, then I'm probably not going to get to any of the secondary. I'm probably going to stay away from Shake. I'm probably going to stay away from Korkmaz and Thibault. So just keep an eye on that. Moving on to the Lakers. So the main 3 guys are really I'm looking to with HARRELL, Kuzma, and Schroeder. All 3 should play mid-30s minutes. HARRELL played 34 minutes last game. Dennis Schroeder played 35. And Kuzma played 34. So again, these are the 3 guys who are going to have to carry this offense. I don't have a super strong take in who I prefer. Kuzma did have basically almost a triple-double that last game. I think him and Schroeder are going to have to be the main guys in the starting unit, and then when HARRELL comes to the bench, he's going to be a high-usage guy. So, again, I don't really have a super strong take, but I think getting to 1 or maybe even 2 of those Lakers guys is not a bad idea. Now, THT at 5'6", lost minutes. Played 28 minutes 2 games ago, and then just randomly 19. So that's not a good sign. I'm probably not going to pay that price for him. Markieff Morris should get mid-20s minutes. I think it's a fair play at 4.7. No thank you to Wes Matthews. Marc Gasol, even if he plays, I don't know if I can get to him. Alex Caruso is priced below 4K. He's played 21, 25, and 24 minutes the last 3 games. Not an amazing point per minute guy, but like I said, there is not a ton of value on the slate, so Caruso is actually someone I'm considering. And if Marc Gasol's out, Devontae Kakak should start and play 10 to 15 minutes, but not much more than that. Then KCP, really struggling shooting the ball. I think he plays mid-20s minutes, but super reliant on the scoring and is not shooting well recently. Let's finish up with Golden State Sacramento. So this is probably my favorite game to stack. Draymond Green, it seems a little bit pricey, but I can just see him having a big triple-double, 50-plus fantasy point game here in this matchup. So I do like Draymond there. Andrew Wiggins, Kelly Oubre, please come back, Steph Curry. Please come back so I don't have to consider these guys. Please. Wiggins was going to play 35 minutes. Hey, he did Andrew Wiggins things last game without Steph Curry. 17 fantasy points. That's the floor with him. Again, he's going to get shot attempts up. Same with Kelly Oubre. Kelly Oubre, after 2 or 3 straight weeks of just playing terrible, goes out and goes for 45 fantasy points. So I would say one of these 2 guys are going to have a good game with Wiggins and Oubre. Your guess is as good as mine who it's going to be. Now, could you just full stack this game and play them both? Sure. Again, this is a game that should be played at a pretty fast pace. So, I'm fine with both. Honestly, Jordan Poole at 6'1" has been playing the most minutes, 38, 39. I've been mentioning it every video, and finally he had a subpar shooting game and kind of had a floor game with 26 fantasy points. But hey, he is a confident player. He's going to get shot attempts up, 15, 21, and 16 shot attempts. And even when he had a bad shooting game, he still went for 26 fancy points. So I do have some interest here in Jordan Poole. Should play massive minutes. And then James Wiseman at 4.8 is actually one of my favorite plays in the slate. Played 26 minutes last game. I'm expecting around mid to high 20s minutes for him. He should be able to have his way against this Sacramento front court. So do kind of like the rookie there at 4.8. Value-wise, I just off the bench, oh man, it's just such a headache. It is just such a headache. Damian Lee probably plays around 20 minutes. Sure, he's viable. Bazemore revenge game narrative, but most likely only plays like 15-ish minutes. KEVON Looney with Wiseman back, only played 17. It's just, I don't know if I can stomach playing a value guy for Golden State off the bench. I just really dislike Steve Kerr, and you guys know that. Finally, the Sacramento Kings. So, again, De'Aaron Fox is one of my favorite plays tonight. He crushed at low ownership. Again, I'm still sick to my stomach. I didn't stick with my original. Thank you, Victor Oladipo. I do like Fox a lot at the top. RICHAUN Holmes, he was the one guy, him and Haliburton, the two guys I stuck with. Sure enough, early foul trouble for Holmes. Now, he still got 30, I think mid-30s fancy points, but he could have had a massive game if he stayed out of foul trouble. That's always the risk with Holmes. Hield and Barnes, they're both in play because of the minutes. Tyrese Haliburton at 6K. He should play 30-plus minutes. Again, a good spot here, and a guy that can stuff the stat sheet. So the main 5 guys for Sacramento all look pretty good. Off the bench, hold on. Let me see what the minutes were. There was a little bit different rotation here off the bench for the Kings. Let me bring this up. Also, I think I saw Corey Joseph get traded. He played 21 minutes. So, yeah, it was basically Whiteside played 18, Meto played 9, James played 7, and Corey Joseph played 21. But I'm almost positive I saw that that Corey Joseph got traded. Yeah, he did. So he's not going to be available for the Kings. So it's like, is it Justin James that plays maybe 15 to 20 minutes on the bench? I don't know. So really, like anyone off the bench, I don't really trust. It's the main 5 guys, and all 5 look good. Again, the starters, well, let me see what the starters played tonight for minutes. Again, they're just going to play massive minutes. 41 for Fox, 30 for Holmes in foul trouble, 41 for Barnes, 30 for Holmes in foul trouble, 40 for Fox, 36 for Haliburton, 38 for Hield. I do like all 5 of the starters here for the Kings. And yeah, that's going to do it for the video today, guys. So if you haven't enjoyed the content so far, I would really appreciate if you give a like button on the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you don't upload videos you don't want to go live. Thanks again. Have a great night, and I'll see you all tomorrow in the live stream.